Um, wow.
I have been prepping.
Good, beautiful morning, everybody. We're just going to wait a few minutes before we begin, but I'm very excited about today's message. It's on the true purpose of mental health, and we're going to get into it in just a couple minutes. But I want to just say good morning to people as you come on. Hello there, guys. Hello, Hannah. Good to see you. Glad you're able to join us today. Remember to share this live out with others if you find the content is interesting and exciting. I'd be happy to hear that. And again, we're going to give a little bit more time for it to come on because a lot of people miss the message. Good morning, Polly. How are you doing? Wonderful. Hi. Good to see you. Hello, Momo. Hi, Chris. Glad you could join us. Hello, Jason. Wonderful. Yes, it's I got with me a group called The Ascended, who've been with me for about 3.5 to 4 years. And it's interesting at the time we're at right now. Good day, Ashan. Good day to you too. Thank you so much for that. Hello, thank you for joining. Glad you're with us. This is a wonderful time to be alive as we get to see how ascension starts to work in the human condition. So today's live event is called The True Purpose of Mental Health, and I'm channeling a group called The Ascended. As I said, they've been with me for a few years. Hello. Hello, Monica. How you doing? Hello, Bethany, Drusilla. It is very important that you understand what the function and purpose of mental health is designed to be in human realm of consciousness. Since the discovery of what you call hypnosis in the early part of what you call your 18th century, where the doorway to your unconscious mind was opened, the doorway to being able to speak directly to the spirit within you was opened. And there was much fear and uncertainty around what this mystical function you called hypnosis was. But it opened the door for all humanity to begin to look inside, to see what is in the heart of your own mind. This is what the door was opened for, that you might begin to look inside. As your systems of mental exploration began to explore deeper into the human condition, many things began to happen. You began to uncover concepts like instincts and urges. You began to develop language that defined and described certain functions of behavior that alluded that some individuals were less functional than others. You created concepts such as mental dis-ease. You formulated terms and language that defined individuals according to the appearance of a condition. The true meaning and purpose of your mental health was designed to reveal to you the fourfold nature of the human being. The fourfold nature of the human being being that the components that make up a human being are the body, the mind, the emotions, the soul, and the spirit that moves through it. These are the primary components of what makes a human organism, and the primary components that assist you in defining and understanding what you call your psychology. It is unfortunate that the nature of poor understanding of these simple pillars of a human being has led to many concepts and creations that do not accurately reflect the truth, but rather have loaned themselves to fragmenting and dividing the human individual into separate fragments of itself. In other words, you have conditions that you would call mental disease, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder. You've created a whole host of names to confuse the individual about who and what they actually are. When you define an individual by a condition or state of expression, you are not defining the whole individual, but a small aspect of them that may be out of alignment with other aspects of themselves. Your body, your mind, your soul, and the spirit of energy or emotion that moves through you are designed to work in a harmonious whole. Each component in and of itself is very simplistic in order to understand that as a human you have a physical body that is designed by nature to follow very precise directions that the individual would give to it. It is the physical component of your consciousness, one aspect of it that you have while you're in a physical dimension. The secondary component of the human organism is what you call their mind, or the storehouse of information within the individual. That information which is both conscious and unconscious. These are not complex or difficult to understand when you perceive them and understand them from the idea of the nature and the quality of the information that has been placed in the mind of an individual. Information that is more often than not placed in the mind of an individual from the very moment of conception, when vibration is able to be received by the physical organism, up until that point in time where the individual can begin to think and function independently with its own reasoning faculties, usually around the age of 7 or 8, when the dawn of reason occurs in the individual. But up to that point where the individual's faculty of reason begins to develop, a whole host of information is poured, often without any consideration, into the mind of that individual. Functions of actions and behaviors directed towards them form patterns, beliefs, and ideas in the individual before they are able to effectively reason upon them themselves. The true purpose of mental health is the function of restoration and healing of the individual, and the harmonizing and the balancing of the four faculties of their consciousness: body, mind, soul, and spirit, or you might call it energy or emotion. That the balancing of these four results in a function of what you call mental health. Your modern psychological and psychiatric systems have created a whole plethora of conditions and states that have confused many individuals and prevented them from effectively and easily gaining a proper foothold over control of their own mind, emotions, and biological organism, thereby creating mass confusion and mental dis-ease. And we stress the word mental dis-ease, for it is not a disease, it is a dis-ease where there is a break in the harmony, the natural harmony that can be established between the body, the mind, the soul, and the system of energy or emotion within the individual. Your physical organism consists of physical matter that is designed by nature to execute properties that you hold in your mind: beliefs, ideas, thoughts, imaginings. The body is simply the medium through which ideas, considerations in your mind will carry themselves out through the body, which is designed to simply respond and react to such ideas, information, and emotional considerations. Thoughts and emotions in and of themselves have no power or influence over the individual once they recognize that the thoughts and emotions contained within the structure of the mind are not who they are. That as a sentient being called the soul, what we label as a spirit of universal light, has the capacity to alter, change, add, subtract, edit, and delete information from the structure of the mental storehouse of information, your mind, both the conscious and what you call your unconscious or your subconscious minds, which are designed to, again, as your body does with your mind will do with your soul in terms of how you interact with the information in your mind. Mental health is simply the rebalancing of the soul in the position of authority over its mind, its emotional flow of energy, and the physical organism. When that balance is properly restored, there is a condition of ease, clarity, and grace that naturally follows once the individual is able to intelligently, knowingly begin to recognize the distinction between their awareness, the thoughts, the memories, the emotions, and the physical organism. Then the individual is in a state that we call awakening, where they begin the process, where they can begin to alter, change, and reorganize thought, memory, and emotional qualities into such a fashion that their expression changes from a state of dis-ease to a state of creativity and what you would call normal, healthy functioning. It is unfortunate that your conventional systems of mental health are very effective at producing more chaos, disturbance, and destruction in the minds of individuals. Your understanding of the mechanisms, generally speaking, of the human organism has led to great global manipulation over the thoughts and feelings of individuals that do not possess the knowledge of themselves sufficient enough to articulate, accept, or reject information that would be detrimental or beneficial to them. It is important you understand that there is a clear distinction between who and what you are, what your thoughts, emotions, and memories are, and what your biological organ is in relationship to these. That you are designed by divine nature to be able to orchestrate thoughts, emotions, and biology into a coherent function that you can direct, that you might be able to function creatively and effectively in this physical dimension, thereby learning the art of creation. It is unfortunate that your psychiatric and psychological systems that purport to perpetuate health have regrettably created more dysfunction and disease in the human species than we have seen in many civilizations. Any individual that begins to consider their true nature, that you are not your body, that you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, you are a soul that has the dominion and authority once realized and recognized to establish a harmony between mind, emotions, body, and the world at large. Dysfunction of mind occurs when erroneous beliefs and ideas are placed in the mind of the individual. To tell a child that they are good one moment and bad the next creates conditions of confusion. To associate the individual as being the body that performs the actions does not allow the individual to reflect upon themselves as the orchestrator of those actions. The idea that you can say to a child, the actions that you perform are going to harm yourself or others, places that individual awareness into the position where they can evaluate that information and make effective changes in their function. It becomes very important to understand the simplicity of what you are as a spiritual consciousness, what your mind is as a mechanism for orchestrating information to generate and stimulate the function of behavior and creative actions in this physical dimension. There is a clear distinction between the conscious and subconscious mind, but both the conscious and subconscious mind always remain amenable to the awareness that is able to direct it, including if you choose to surrender your own thoughts, beliefs, and ideas to those of others. You can become subjective and amenable to the ideas, beliefs of others. And without a due process of reasoning, this has led to much confusion and even into many people being swayed into very unpleasant situations on both a small and both on a global scale. You see the function of enslavement, the function of what you would call socialism or communism, the function of authoritarianism, are conditions where individuals that would support such things surrender their own conscious creative faculties and supplant it with the others. And your existing knowledge of the human organism has facilitated many of your agencies in your governments into fully and effectively deploying such knowledge to control and manipulate large numbers of people to the benefit of a few at the expense of many. We want you to understand that there is a simple process of being able to operate your mind and your body. The equation X is to Y as Y is to Z. The soul is to the mind as the mind is to the body is to the world. It is a simple equation of consciousness designed to flow from the top down. As equally as you can receive information from the environment, in which case it can go in the opposite direction, where you receive an idea or belief from the environment. It comes into your sensory apparatus, it goes into your mind, and it can influence both your conscious and subconscious faculties. And if you so choose to identify with specific ideas, then you will find yourself following ideas, beliefs, and considerations that may not be in your best interests. It becomes very important then for the function of reasoning to be developed in the soul. As the body has faculties of instinct or survival, the soul has faculties of perception, imagination, that it can utilize in the function of creation, that process of development that each and every one of you came here to learn, the function of creation. Conditions of true mental health would represent that the individual functions in a normal and beneficent way towards itself and the environment around it. Mental dis-ease or dysfunction is represented by the opposite, wherein the individual is in conflict both within themselves and the environment, which simply means that there's information, ideas, and beliefs that are held in the consciousness of the individual that conflicts with one or another. The moment you have a perception of yourself that contradicts a perception of yourself, you will have confusion. But in the end, the simple process of understanding how to articulate that you can train your own mind to be still, to be quiet, to be peaceful, to understand that in the process of training your mind to be still, to be quiet, and to be peaceful, you will articulate the same function in the energy or emotional component of your character. That is, when the mind is quiet, calm, and peaceful, the energy or emotion that moves through you will be quiet, calm, and peaceful. If you have thoughts, beliefs, and ideas that are disturbing and upsetting, then the energy within you will be disturbing and upsetting. And it is this simple. There is no unnecessary complexity to what we are saying. Quite simply, as you think, so it becomes. As you feel, so you will do. Your existing systems of mental health have done more to perpetuate suffering than they have done to perpetuate prosperity and well-being. We've observed it for many decades now. It is at a very difficult point where so many of you believe that there's something fundamentally wrong with you. And let us clear this up. There is nothing fundamentally wrong with any of you once you understand that you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, you are not your body. These are instruments, faculties you can learn to use, like you learn to drive an automobile, so that you can operate and govern your life in a most beautiful and wonderful way as you travel through this world of time and space, just as you would travel through time and space in an automobile, knowing how to steer and how to brake and how to accelerate, how to change your gears. The same thing is true when you understand the vehicle of your mind, your emotion, and your physical organism. In understanding these faculties and how they work, it is not complex, it is not difficult. You do not need pills or drugs to learn to do this, but you do need patience, persistence, and an effective system of learning that would provide an environment that would encourage you to be patient and kind with your mind and body, which is, for many of you, been conditioned and programmed to live in fear and uncertainty. When you can learn to operate the faculty of your thinking mind, your emotional energy will begin to operate accordingly. and in turn the functions of actions, which are always products of your emotional states. There is no function of action in the human kingdom that can occur without an emotion. Even those that you say are doing things that are of an emotional state, they had no feeling about it. We can assure you that there was a feeling about it, as the nervous system, in order to function, must have energy moving through it, and that energy is always in the form of an emotion. There can be no human action without the energy of emotion moving through the system of the body. Just as there can be no action of emotion without a structure of thought moving through your mind, whether that thought originated with you or it originated from your environment. And most of you are bound and stuck in the quagmire of information and erroneous ideas and beliefs that have been provided to you from the environment. Trust this, do not trust this. Love this, do not love this. This is what fear is. You have been given many things to confuse you. But the confusion ends with the simple understanding that you are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not your body. These are instruments that you have acquired coming into a physical dimension, instruments that you need to learn how to operate. And unfortunately, in your conventional systems of education, there is no instruction manual, there's no teachings per se given to you at a very young age to teach the child how to breathe, how to operate its body, how to function in accordance with its laws, to teach the individual child that it has authority and autonomy over its body, that it has authority and autonomy over what thoughts it will think. Your existing systems of education loan themselves to creating nothing more than a bunch of automatons that do not know how to think for themselves, but have simply learned how to parrot information provided to them. Your conventional systems of mental health have done the same thing. They provide you with ideas and beliefs about states of existence. They provide you with a mysteriousness around your own minds and your emotions, telling you that somehow your emotions are problematic and you might need something to chemically change your own brain. We can tell you this is not true. There's no confusion about what your mind is. There is no confusion about what your emotions are, except that you've been taught to believe that there is. And if you believe that what you've been taught is true, then what is true will be what you believe, and what you believe then will govern your actions and your state. If you've been told that a certain way of speaking or talking means that you are a certain way, then you will become a certain way. If someone tells you you are evil from a young age, you will define that and you will create the emotional energy to support and sustain that. The function of the human organism is very simple. Thought, memory, emotion, body are designed to work in a coordinated effort together. But until you recognize at any age when the individual realizes, I am not these thoughts were given to me, are these thoughts true or false? When the individual awareness, when you awaken, when you are liberated from your thoughts as being that which defines you, and you awaken, then you can begin the process of redefining your thoughts, as each thought in and of itself will definitively produce certain qualities of emotional energy that will be perceived as what you call your feelings. And if you give the power of your thought over to others, then your feelings will be out of your reach to control and regulate yourself. If you believe that what another person thinks about you can affect and harm you, then what they think about you will affect and harm you. But it is not true unless you believe it. Because what you believe, so it shall be. Even that, you can believe that which is not true, as many of you have. The function and true purpose of mental health is to bring the individual into a clear, conscious understanding of the relationship between themselves as a sentient being called the soul. the relationship of the soul to thoughts, emotions, and matter. Those are the four primary considerations for the individual to begin to evaluate from the perspective of your awareness. You are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not your body. These are faculties at your disposal to learn and practice the art of creation. When you come to the understanding that there are thoughts in your mind that are not true, and there are thoughts that you do not have that you need, you will seek those thoughts. You will consider those thoughts. You will ask for those thoughts. But the moment you begin to evaluate what is true in your mind, is it true that you are no good? That is not true at all. You're a divine organism, here to learn and master the art of creation. Is that not exciting? That you're here to learn the art of creation. The art of creation. And that you need a mind, and you need a substance called energy, which is also called emotion, to articulate this organism of a body to the actions that would allow you to precipitate functions of creation, to alter and change the structure of matter, and to understand that you are the consciousness functioning in such a fashion to do that. But whatever thought that you have in your mind, be very mindful of those thoughts. Become aware of them. Ask yourself the question, is this thought going to be good for me? Is this thought going to be beneficent? Is it going to be good in how it will cause me to express? If you think another person is evil, then you will generate qualities of emotion that will display functions of behavior that match that quality of emotion. All emotion is very precise in how it articulates the function of physiology, including conditions of health and disease in your body, can also be determined by thought and emotion. It is very simple. Your conventional sciences of mental health, if they were truly mechanisms of mental health, then you would have a very mentally healthy and highly creative society. You would not have one or two extreme super geniuses upon this planet. You'd have many. When you understand that you are able to be the architect of thought, to change and alter thought, which changes and alters the flow of energy or emotion that articulates the expression of your physiology. So your existing systems of mental health have been used very, very well to establish mechanisms of manipulation and power, authority, and control over humanity. That is how your existing and most learned individuals on this planet have deployed their knowledge and understanding of what you call psychology and the many spectrums that branch covers, from sound and color manipulation. These individuals that have learned to understand the primary ways in which to manipulate and orchestrate the behavior and actions of others have deployed this to their own benefit at the detriment of so many of you. And we're here to clarify that that is unnecessary anymore, that each and every one of you has the capacity within you to change the function of your own mind, your emotions, and even change the influence and effect of memory upon your present existence. That you have the capacity to remove from your physical body certain qualities of emotion that are detrimental to you. You can literally release old emotion from your physical organism. You can release thought from your mind that does not serve you. You can introduce new thought that will serve you. And every single living individual that has even the slightest capacity to reason and comprehend what we're saying can begin the journey of liberation from unnecessary suffering, unnecessary internal torment. Because that is not your natural state, that is a state produced by acquiring certain beliefs and ideas from this world that have resulted in you experiencing everything that you would allow into your mind. So much of your so-called media communication systems loan themselves to confusing and frightening and even terrifying some of you. Many of you watch and give attention to those things that do not provide your mind or furnish your body with emotional energy that is beneficial to you. You must become awake and aware, diligent enough that you can begin to evaluate whether what is being shown to you is a benefit to your freedom. And freedom is defined as your ability to be able to utilize your consciousness to effectively create ideas and beliefs that generate emotional qualities, that produce creative results in your life, that give you what you would call a good, pleasant life. That you and all of you are capable, once you begin to get at least the basics of this that we are saying now, that you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions, you are not your body. These are instruments that you need to learn to operate. That once you learn to operate them, and you may feel very confused, and we know that this one here went through a period of great confusion and self-destruction in his life. And when he received the first glimmers of the knowledge that we share with you now, he made a very slow but consistent turn away from what seemed to be to him endless suffering to a place of dynamic excitement and creativity and the capacity to contribute creatively to this world in a way that formerly he could not even possibly consider. And all it took was for him to receive but one single thought. One single thought that he was given. He was given a thought. The thought that he was indeed loving and lovable, that he was not this terrible, horrible being. And that very thought, when he was given that thought, and we remember when he said that in his mind, I am loving and lovable. When he had that thought, his whole energy changed for a moment. And he felt good. And it may be the same for you, that but a single thought that you choose to give attention to that is good, that there is nothing wrong with you, that one single thought that can change the functionality of your emotional energy and open pathways of transformation and change that may formerly have been closed to you will suddenly open when you realize that indeed there is nothing wrong with you. They're simply understanding the mechanics of who and what you are. And it is very simple. There is no unnecessary complexity to what we're saying, but we are saying what we are saying in many different ways, that those of you that can hear will hear, and those of you that will see. But your existing systems of understanding the human organism, body, mind, emotion, and soul have been deployed to manipulate and control a large portion of the human population to the detriment of them and the benefit of a few. This is very obvious when you see the disparity between those that have and those who do not have, and the only difference is the function of creation. That those who do not know how to think what they need to think to create the emotional energy that's necessary to deploy actions that will change their life have been given thoughts, ideas, and beliefs that prevent them from doing so, continually bombarded with fear and guilt and shame and uncertainty. Your so-called systems of entertainment filling your minds with mostly destructive information, to view yourself and your neighbors, to gossip, to speak poorly of yourself and others. You've been bombarded, and so from our perspective, many of you have been simply misled. But now it is time to lead yourself, and you cannot blame those that have misled you. You must let go of blame and shift from blame to the understanding that I now know I do not have to believe this. I do not have to think this. I do not have to expose myself to information and knowledge that instills fear and anger in myself towards myself and others. That I can choose to establish ideas, beliefs in my consciousness that will stimulate the function of emotion that is beneficent for me, that allows me to create and manifest conditions that would be beneficent to myself and those around me. That state of self-awareness is available to each and every individual as equally as its opposite exists for you to accept as well. You may choose to accept that there is something wrong with you, and you may choose to accept that there's no way to change your mind. You may choose to accept those, and your life will be defined by what you would choose to believe. But in the last analysis, there is still fundamentally nothing wrong with you, except you are choosing ideas and information that will generate emotional conditions that will produce functional behaviors that will not be conducive to producing the conditions that would be ideal for a very delightful and wondrous creative experience in this dimension. Because that is what you came here to do, to experience the delight of creation. That is what you came here to do, truly. To experience the delight of creation. And these individuals you call NCPs, many of you will hear this term, NCPs, are simply those individuals that have been placed in such a state that they do not know how to self-evaluate. They have been, indoctrinated into beliefs and ideas that prevent them from self-evaluating. But the moment we see humanity beginning to make this shift, it is becoming obvious as you observe the symptoms of the changes in your socio-political landscape, which are going to happen very rapidly. And in that change, where the higher faculties of your human individuals, the ones that can function most effectively, there is going to be a trickle-down effect to all of you that are suffering. For those of you that are unable or believe you are unable to get out of the persistent, debilitating thoughts and emotions, these individuals will shine a light for you. Your systems of education and learning are going to go through a simple and profound change. And we stress the concept of simple, for your education should be that to train you to operate your own mind, to have your own thoughts, your own beliefs, your own ideas, the capacity to evaluate them, change them, alter them, edit them. Because the nature and quality of thoughts, beliefs, and ideas determines the nature and function of your emotional energy, creatively or non-creatively, in this physical dimension. But your existing systems of mental health are so corrupted by the existing systems of manipulation from your geopolitical operators that many of you suffer needlessly and unknowingly suffer. Many of you have been taught to believe that there's something wrong with you, and we tell you now, there is nothing wrong with you. You simply were not given exposure to correct ideas and information that would allow you to liberate yourself creatively, as you came here to do. You came here to creatively function, not to be a bump on a log, suffering and struggling. You came here to function consciously and creatively, every one of you. And this is the truth. And this is what we need you to know. That you are not your body, you are not your mind, you are not your emotions. These are mechanisms of creation that you, as an awakened awareness that can evaluate and examine thought, can evaluate and change thought, thereby evaluating and changing emotional qualities, which in turn alter and change the function of your physical actions. It cannot be made any simpler than that formula. Soul is to mind, as mind is to its emotion, as emotion is to action. It is very simple. There is no unnecessary complexity. Your whole system of mental health simply needs to understand and learn how to apply those simple mechanics of understanding that the individual become aware that their thoughts are not who they are, that their memories do not have to define the nature of your future existence, that emotions can be altered and changed as you functionally change thought and memory. You can alter and change thought and memory, which alter and change your function of emotion. So this is a very beautiful time, what we call the ascension of humanity. The opportunity is now presented again that you may choose to ascend in consciousness to the full measure of your capacity to be creative individuals, and you may also choose to reject that possibility, to stay bound to the suffering that anger, fear, and judgment will keep you in. Your anger and your fear and your judgment will keep you in suffering. And if you're willing to release these, willing to evaluate the nature and source of your thoughts, and willing to recognize which thoughts, which beliefs, which ideas that you receive or that you hold in your mind, which are good, which are beneficent to you, which are just and right. We are the ascended, and we are honored to be able to communicate the simplicity of this information to you about mental health. And that you are always the orchestrator of that mental health the moment you recognize that you are. This happens when you realize you are not your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You are not your body. They are instruments that you need to learn how to use. You need to learn how to use your thoughts, to change your thoughts, to edit, to delete thoughts. And in turn, you will alter and change the emotional energy that flows through your body. Your emotions do not define you. Your thoughts define your emotions. And you may define your thoughts, or you may defer that responsibility, and you may choose to just accept, these are the thoughts I have and I cannot change them. In which case you will be defined by those thoughts that you believe you cannot change. And in the end, even if you choose to remain in a state of ignorance and suffering, we would still say the same to you, that there is nothing wrong with you. You may not get it in this lifetime, but eventually you will learn that you are coming into this physical dimension to learn the art and function of creation, as you were made in the image and likeness of a creator. And we shall leave you with that, and wish you great love and joy this day. Wow. Thank you. Hi, everybody. Wow. What can I say? What can I say after that? The Ascended and many other beings, they channel through me, and they teach through our everything that you heard today is they teach in our classes and courses through me and our other mediums, where you gain firsthand experience from the Ascended Masters on the simple practices. These are not complex, simple practices that will put you in a position where you realize you can change your thoughts, you can change your emotions, and you can change your body. And that there are certain practices that are conducive to that, just like you have to learn to drive a car a certain way. Again, I'll be paraphrasing what they've said. But they teach this directly to you in our Masterclass series. We got our Masterclass 102 Liberation course, which deals exclusively with how to gain complete authority over your thoughts, your emotions, and your physical body. At least enough authority that you will know before the end of that 3 weeks that you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions. And you're going to experience a you that is truly closer to who you are. When you know that you're not those emotions, and you know you can change your thoughts, it's a big difference. Anyway, if you want to know more about our Masterclass series, and if you want to get involved in Masterclass 102 before the doors close, it's just another 14 days away. It starts November the 30th. Go to WilliamMichaelForbes.com, sign up for Masterclass 102. You'll see the full description of the course and everything that's included in it, what you'll learn, and how long it lasts. It's a 3-week program. It runs from Sundays to Fridays, and there's a live lesson about 1 hour every day, except on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, where the 2-hour lessons, where the Ascended and many other different entities speak to me on different subjects that are presented throughout the course, and that are designed to liberate you from the confines of your conditioning. of this world. Anyway, I'm honored to be able to transmit this energy. Hi. Hi, Paul. Good to see you. Hi, guys. I'm just going to scroll up and see if I'm just going to... Did you see they found aliens in the ocean? I don't know if they found aliens in the ocean. I do believe that there are others. I do believe, and I've been told. I'm saying I do believe because I haven't physically, well, that's not true. I've actually seen a couple of flying saucers, whatever you want to call them, in Toronto. But I've never actually seen a physical alien unless they're talking to me. So I can't really say I can believe that they exist. But I'm told they are on this earth. There are different species on this earth that will reveal themselves to us as our consciousness begins to shift away from fear. And what I've been told from the Pleiadians is the reason that they will not reveal themselves is because too much fear exists still. When humanity shifts from fear to love, there'll be more curiosity about exploring and being less afraid of what's not familiar to us, right? But I don't know about them being in the oceans. Right. Yes, I know that too. All right, thank you for sharing. Share the live with others, please. Remember to share the live. Will my finances get better? When you can change your emotion around your finances, they will get better. When you can start to feel good about money, I mean, feel good about it all, whether you're paying bills or earning money, even finding a penny on the street. When you can feel good about money, regardless of how much or how little you have, when you start feeling good about what you have, you're going to shift your energy. And that energy is going to shift things around you because you're not separate from what's happening around you. None of us is. They tell me that all the time. They say, William, everything that happens around you is an effect both of your emotional energy and everybody else that's in resonance with that energy, right? So you can change it anytime. Hello, Daniela. Daniela's saying, I had a vision with Ra, who blessed me with golden light. A woman in a long mantle and an angel, I believe, appeared to her left. Both stood in radiant light under Ra. Who were they? It's interesting, Daniel. All I'm seeing is this light. I'm just seeing light. It's not to be revealed, this name, to you at this time. Be grateful for the gift of light given. Do not believe that there's something not fulfilled. Do not believe that there's something not fulfilled. I'm going to paraphrase that. So, in other words, the other beings that aren't revealing themselves to you through me are saying that the light that you received was the gift. And if you want to know who they were, you have to first accept the gift of the light, and then you'll understand who they are. It's wonderful. Congratulations, Daniel. It's nice to be blessed like that. Is it okay to project hate to people who scam me, or am I harming myself by doing that? Yes, you are. You are harming yourself if you project hate at anybody. In a state of anger, you're in a state of fear or anger, your body chemistry changes, and you start to produce different chemicals like adrenaline and cortisol that can harm your body. Bless them and release them with love and grace, wherever they are. Like, really, it might sound strange to you because we're so mean. Yes, I will. So they're telling me to tell you, you have been so trained, many of you, to blame and attack that which you do not like, that you continue to experience that which you would blame and attack. Bless them, wish them well, but be very mindful that you will not allow such a thing to happen again, and that will be the gift for you. For there are those that are conditioned into beliefs that the only way they can get is to take, because they do not believe they have enough. Those who take do not believe that they have enough and do not believe that they can create. Do not make them responsible for your suffering, or you will have no power to change your suffering. Bless them, wish them well, release them from your life with love and grace. and open yourself up to the possibility of prosperity and abundance. Even if you do not know how that can occur, open yourself. By releasing this, you open yourself to the opposite, to the possibility of abundance, instead of the anger at being taken from. For if you hold on to the anger of being taken from, then you will be taken from again. If you hold on to the anger about being hurt, you will be hurt again. If you hold on to fear, you will find fear again. Learn to release that which does not serve you from your mind and your body. Wow, that's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Question, I've started smoking tobacco at night for grounding. Is this a good habit, or should I let go of it? There are different types of tobaccos, but there's only one type of tobacco that's actually natural. You want to find tobacco that's naturally grown from the natives. If you're needing to smoke something to ground, use a type of weed called mullein, M-U-L-L-E-I-N. It's called mullein. You can smoke mullein. Not only is it good for your lungs, for your physical body's lungs, but it will be good to ground you too. Mullein's closer to the earth. Tobacco is more about up in the spirit, right? A little higher, but it's not beneficial for your body, right? Again, natives use it ceremonially, but mullein would be much better for you. M-U-L-L-E-I-N. Hi there. Good to see you. Oh, you're very welcome, Kathy. Thank you for the gifts, and thank you for your support. And thank you to all of you that support this channel and these messages that we are transmitting. It's a very exciting time for us as a species, as individuals. And I hope you've been listening and really understanding what's being said and taking it in, drinking it in, and sharing it with other people. We did not, none of us really came here to suffer. We came here to learn creation. And that's the one message that they give over and over and over and over again. We came here to learn how to create our experiences. That's exciting, right? Came here to create our experiences, right? Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Have I been talking to spirits in the last few days? Thank you, William. Yes, you have, Iris, but you have to learn to listen. You do need to learn to listen. Thank you for sharing the live out. I appreciate that. Can you please tell me a name of one of my masters or guides? Hello, Rachel. How you doing? Archangel Michael. You can call on Archangel Michael. Spiritual entities, okay, are non-physical beings. They exist in consciousness. Archangel Michael has been known to manifest himself as Master Jesus has, as Buddha has been known to, as Sai Baba, as Babaji, as many others have been known to physically manifest, but generally speaking, they're individual consciousnesses in an energetic state that's not physical. And you can learn to interact with their energy. In our masterclass series, you learn to connect or commune with these individuals in a conscious and deliberate way, but you want to really work with Archangel Michael to help you release some of those negative attachments that you have. Like really ask him to show you how to release these attachments, these emotions from your body. He'll show you, right? They're not, contrary to what everybody says, the angels, the guides, the ascended masters, even the Pleiadians, the avians, the many different species that are interacting with humanity right now, they don't want to do it for you. They want to demonstrate and teach how you can do it for yourself, right? That's why you want to ask them to show you what to think, what to say, what to release, what to let go of, right? They'll teach you how to do that in the masterclass. Can you please tell me a name? Oh yeah, we got that. Thank you so much. Hi. Hi, Star Bernice. Does Chris Don have a message for me? I'm only getting three words. Do not do it. Do not do it. Do not do it. Thank you for the galaxy. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it if you get something from that. Good to see you, Kate. Thank you for your answer. I will release them and let go of the hate. It's so important. You know, hate keeps people in a state of disempowerment. Hate's been used to conquer countries. People that benefit from the plunder of others will manipulate others into being hateful towards others. Right? Even the so-called tolerant left movement is all saying all about love, and they don't see what's happening, that there are women being placed in powerful, prominent positions in government now. You got to get that what you've been taught to believe about certain people is not true. Right, thank you for those white roses, Kathy. Really appreciate it. The educational system must change. It's doing so much damage. It's ridiculous. As is what they were talking about, the psychological and mental health systems of the world are doing more harm than good. They've now become drug pushing machines. You know, sitting and going over your problems that happened when you were 7 years old and remembering how terrible that felt will not result in resolving it in any significant manner. It helps to certainly release and reveal the pain you're having, but just rehashing it in your mind is not very good. You need to learn how to interact with emotional energy and how to transform emotional energy from one state into another, right? And they teach in Masterclass 102. They'll teach you how to do that. You'll actually learn how to do that. Yes. Hi there. And thank you for the super chats. I appreciate that. Support this channel in whatever way you can. Remember to like, to subscribe, to share this information with other people, please. Like, subscribe, share. It tells the algorithm the information that you're hearing here is valuable. And if you've gained any benefit from it, then offer that benefit to other people, please. Right? This information, this is free. I give my time freely because that's what they've asked me to do. It changes me by allowing them to work through me. My vibration changes when they work through me. But yeah, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, we go live. Well, there we go. I'm really worried about my health. Any tips or messages from my guides? Yeah, first and foremost, you need to correct the energy of worry. You need to correct the energy of worry. You need to establish a vibration of gratitude in your body. The parts of your body that you're concerned about are receiving your fear, and the energy of your fear establishes a certain function of particular organs in your body. Qualities of emotion organize matter. Qualities of emotion organize matter. If you do not know how to change the quality of your emotion, we encourage you to come and join us as we work through this one, and you'll learn how to change that worry. You need to shift the energy of worry to the energy of gratitude. Be grateful for your body and all that it does for you. You can do this right now. You can turn to your body and say, I am so grateful for all that you do for me, because many of the conditions that your body may be suffering from are more often than not self-induced from a lack of understanding of what you eat and what you drink and how you sleep. Many of you do not understand that your body needs certain things to be vibrant and vital, and it needs to not have certain things to be vibrant and vital. And many of you have been seduced by manipulation, through your psychological manipulation, to eat, to drink, to consume things that are detrimental to you. And so you want to be mindful of that worry. Rather than worry, go into appreciation and gratitude. You can be very surprised at what can change when you alter and change the function of your emotional energy in your physiology. Your body will react and respond to changes in the function of your emotion, which you yourself can initiate by qualities of thought. and qualities of how you interact with emotion. You can change. You can change your body. You can change your emotion. You can change your creative expression. And you can change how the environment will react and respond to you. You have that authority as a soul, as a sentient being. You have that authority. Always. Tell them the story about Saint Germain. I was asked to tell a story about Saint Germain. So when I was about 25, 29, between 25 and 30, I was living on an island on a lake called Lake Scugog near a little town called Port Perry in Ontario, Canada. And it was a very, very bitter winter that time, and I decided to walk all the way from town instead of getting a ride in town. I decided to walk across the frozen lake, and I'd been taught how to do fire walking, so I thought I would use the technique of fire walking to walk across the lake, which I did. They said the wind chills were minus 50 to 55 that night, and I walked across the lake. It took about an hour and a half to make that walk across the frozen lake, Lake Scugog, till I got to the island. At that time, the island was called Nonquan by the Mississaugas of Ontario, which means trees in one spot, all trees in one spot. Anyway, the next day, I went back into town, and I'm in the hardware store, and I'm talking to the owner of the home hardware there about how I was able to walk in that freezing cold and not even be cold at all. And as I'm telling him the story about fire walking, how you can learn to do these things with your mind, I'm being a bit of a braggart, right? And all of a sudden, this man comes running in the door. He's dressed in this bright red outfit, head to toe, piercing blue eyes, beautiful red hair, and a pointed goatee beard. It was beautiful. And I knew, as soon as I looked into his eyes, I knew that this was Master Saint Germain. And he comes running up to me, and he looks me straight in the eye and says, "Lad, don't you go bragging until you can dodge bullets." And then he turns around and runs out the door. And a few months after that, I had a very profound dream. And a voice spoke to me, "I am the seventh ray. I am the seventh ray." It said, and it repeated that to me 7 times. "I am the seventh ray." And then I woke up from that dream shaking, literally. My body was vibrating. And I was told, you have to find the book. There's a book called The Seventh Ray. So I went on a search. It took me 9 years to find a book called The Seventh Ray by Master Saint Germain. And the picture on that book is exactly what he looked like, but as a real person, not as the caricature on the page. But that was his beard, his hair, his eyes were all like that. And so that was my encounter with Saint Germain. Ascended masters can and will, when necessary, appear in physical form. There's some of them in physical form right now on the planet. There's some in physical form on the planet right now that are helping humanity make this ascension move, this move towards ascension. Yeah, it's very fascinating. Yeah, don't worry about your health. Hang on, I'm going to go over here. Did it work? Oh, yeah, we got it. Okay, let's see. When you send hate to another, you're actually sending it to yourself. Yeah. When you send hate out, remember, any thought that you think, this is what they've taught me, any thought that you think happens in your mind, and it stimulates a function of a flow of electrons that produces a sensation we call an emotion. So if you're thinking that person's that, if you judge a person in a certain way, that thought affects your nervous system first. So when you're feeling hate towards somebody, that hate energy goes through your system before it leaves your system, gets projected at them. So you're actually harming yourself by harming others, which is why you always hear that statement, do unto others as you do unto yourself, because as you do unto others, you do unto yourself. It's just what happens energetically. But that's a great consideration. Thanks for sharing it. Yeah. Remember, the mental health systems and the educational systems can be literally transformed. They can literally be transformed into the proper devices they were intended to be. Like psychology and psychiatry should be there to reveal to you how to operate and regulate your mind, your emotions, and your physiology consciously. There should be such mechanisms as meditation, deep breathing. Like mental health does not just include your thoughts. It doesn't just include your emotions. It includes body, emotions, mind, and your soul. And the soul that you are is not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You're not your emotions. And that needs to be taught to people at a very young age, that you're not your thoughts, and that you should be very careful where you get your thoughts from. Most parents plop their kids in front of a TV and don't even evaluate what's being put in their minds. Children don't have the filtration system that you develop over time. So you place children in front of TV, you place children in front of anything, and they'll just accept it as real. You know, in the Masterclass 102, one of the things they discuss in Masterclass 102 is how your mind cannot differentiate between fantasy and reality. That blows my mind whenever they talk about that your mind cannot differentiate between fantasy and reality. So it becomes very important what thoughts you will choose to expose yourself at any point of time and space. It is so important. What you allow your children to be exposed to. Don't just put them in front of a TV set or watch what you're watching on movies and TV. Adults let their children watch The Walking Dead, which instills fear and paranoia. And most of the television shows that are out now are all about you can't trust your neighbor, gossiping about this. It's terrible. That's how you're training children to judge and hate. Stop it. Watch where you put your children and watch what you put in your own mind. And psychiatry and psychology should be guardians of the sacredness of the mind. And so should the educational system. It should be there to reinforce self-understanding that you're not your thoughts, you're not your body, you're not your emotions. You are a soul. Then the substance of emotion is the energy of spirit that says, ask and you shall receive. Because even if you think good emotions, you feel good. If you think good thoughts, you feel good. If you think bad thoughts, you feel bad. The spirit says, ask and you shall receive. That's what emotional energy is. It's the movement of the spirit through you. And it will flow as good, it will flow as evil. But education and our conventional systems of health and psychiatry, mental health and psychiatry, can go through a profound and radical change and facilitate a massive shift in human collective unconsciousness from fear back to love, which is what we are all engaged in right now. You know, they're all engaged, all the ascended masters, all the beings from these other dimensional realms that are converging here, the angels, archangels. They're literally here, convening here to help humanity shift from fear to love. And anybody that's going to perpetuate fear is not in alignment with love. It's that simple. By their fruits you shall know them. But yeah, let go of your hatred, let go of your anger, let go of your judgment. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for your support on TikTok. It's telling me we've completed the first stage. I'm really happy about that. I don't know what that means, but you did. William, are you and your lovely wife enjoying your location? Very much. But this is a less of a vacation and more of a restructuring and a preparing. As we are being prepared by our guides, our angels, they're getting us ready for what is to come. And there's massive changes coming on this planet right now. The U.S. election was not just for the United States. It was to reestablish a beacon of light in the collective unconsciousness of humanity. So it's a humanity. And the truth is, what's happening in Ukraine is happening to all of humanity. What's happening in Gaza is happening to all of humanity in varying degrees. Those that are there are at the epicenter of that rage and that anger and that judgment, that violence. People People that aren't so close to it, that are affected by it, are less affected by it. But we are all in this together. And there's a movement that we all have to make, and it needs to be a consensus that it doesn't mean we all have to agree on the same things and believe the same things, but we need to shift our focus from functioning from fear to functioning from love. And the function from love means you can experience people disagreeing with you, and you might learn something from them, or you might disagree with them and they might learn something. We have the opportunity to let our disagreements be mechanisms to elevate ourselves as individuals and as a species. Right? It's really simple. It's not that complex. Thank you, Lauren. I love you so much. Thank you so much. And keep your postings up, right? Keep going. Drusilla says her 69th birthday is coming. Happy birthday, Drusilla, or 60th. Don't rush it, eh? Wonderful. I'm just curious on TikTok or YouTube. Are you hearing a lot of background noise or anything, or is the noise really consistent? I've got a new microphone that was a gift from one of my students that was apparently had noise cancellation. So I'm curious to know how they're actually working. No worries, Lauren. Yeah. Do you remember being in class with me? Of course I remember you being in class. Of course I remember you, Lauren. How could I forget you? Your work in wanting to help others to heal has gone well noticed. Right? It's been well noted. Do not underestimate yourself at any time. None of you should. Oh, thank you, Jasmine, for the hearts on hands. For those of you that are just coming, if you want to see the original message transmitted by the Ascended, this live event will be on my YouTube channel about an hour after we finish the live event. But again, if you want to book a reading, go to my website, book a one-on-one reading with me. It will profoundly change your life. Like, I mean profoundly. Go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and check out the testimonials there. There are hundreds of testimonials there. People have had readings, taken courses and classes, and what they've experienced. And lives are changed and made new and whole. You did not come into this world to suffer. You came into this world to create. And again, your guides, your angels, ascended masters, even your loved ones will have information for you. The ones that you're ready to receive information from will be present in that reading. Readings are either half-hour or 1 hour readings. And again, you can choose your date and time on my website, what day and time you want your reading to be. And I'll look forward to seeing you in person. Your readings will be recorded and available for download immediately after the reading. Literally 90 seconds after the reading, you'll be able to download your reading and review it, because there will be so much information that comes through in those readings. People will take sometimes weeks to just digest it all. It's quite remarkable to be a witness to what comes through, what you can allow to come through you. I mean, look at our Elon Musk, what he allows to come through him. The level of creation energy moving through that man is incredible. And yet every one of us has that potential. He's just actualized it. And when you can learn to unlock your potential, well, there's nothing that can stop you from fulfilling your creative process here. Yeah. And reading will help you connect to that. Someone saying Saint Germain came to me as energy and later spoke to me. I'm now learning about the violet flame. Wonderful, good for you. That's a wonderful tool. Violet fire. Tap, tap, tap. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the hearts. People can hear the noise. Okay, well, I'll have to try and get another microphone than this one. That's okay. Where we are, the ocean's about 200 yards away from here. And it's nice to go down there once in a while and just to observe the continual and natural ebbs and flows of consciousness. And what you see, the rhythms of the ocean, are the same rhythms in your own consciousness. If you learn how to ride those waves like a surfer, you can do amazing things with your life. We can all do amazing things for our life. You can do amazing things when you understand how to, again, I'm paraphrasing what they said, when you understand how to use your mind, your body, your emotions, and your thoughts consciously, you can change your life very, very effectively. Hi Nina. Are there any future between me and the guy I've been recently dating? Um, yeah. Uh, yes and no. You have not clearly defined what you actually want, and neither has E. Neither of you have clearly defined what you want together. That must be a co-creation. You cannot do it by yourself. It needs to be a co-creation. But I'm getting a lot more information about that, so you might want to connect me. Now I'm getting this guy's going to be right outside the window in just a moment, so I think we'll just, rather than annoying you with all the background noise, I think we'll just call it a day. Oh wait, somebody says it's great. It's great. What microphone is it? Let me see what the type. This was a gift from one of my students. You'll see what it says. It is called, it's called a J6 wireless lavalier microphone. I do have another one that I normally use, but I'm not using it today. Background noise on TikTok. I apologize for that. This is supposed to be a noise canceling microphone. Maybe there's a button, or maybe there's something I don't know how to do with it. Let's see. What if I push that? It's got a button on it. Just let me try this on TikTok. I'm curious. Okay, I just pushed a button. Tell me if you can still hear me on TikTok. And if the noise has changed when there's a button. Who is causing wind around me lately? Thank you. That's Archangel Gabriel. He wants me to tell you, life is meant to be a breeze. Life is meant to be a breeze, not difficult. Thank you so much. Yes, for those of you that still have questions, how do I clear the resistance to doing the 101 class? 2 ways to clear resistance from your body that they taught me. The first way to clear the resistance is to find out where you feel it in your body. Because resistance, when you feel it, has a place. Every emotion has a place it lives in your body. So you find out where the resistance in the body is, then you go to the resistance and you communicate to the resistance, I'm willing to love you, even if I don't understand you. And you repeat that slowly and gently to the resistance, I'm willing to love you, even if I don't understand you. And then communicate to the resistance, there's no fear in learning something new. There's no fear in learning something new. You want to communicate that sequence of thoughts to the resistance, Genevieve. Again, when you're hearing somebody's question being answered, I'm just giving them a small fraction of a bunch of information that suddenly becomes available to me. When you ask me a question, it opens up a whole realm of information that doesn't get a chance to come through here, but will come through in a private and personal reading. So I'm going to wish you all much love, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Friday's edition or Saturday's edition tomorrow at 10 a.m. on Shortcuts for Your Soul. Have yourself a wonderful and joyful day. Much love. Bye for now.